Hello and a warm welcome to today's session. So we are going to look at the Genpact pattern that's going to be a part of the campus drive across the state. So in this session, you will learn a bit about the foundation and the basics of the grammar, as well as how to solve certain kind of questions which you will come across in verbal ability. Now, in verbal ability, what they're trying to assess you is your ability to understand the foundation of a language, that is English, not any other language, where they ask you to identify errors in a sentence. They ask you to fill in the blanks with the appropriate form of word. What do I mean by form of word? For example, if I have a particular action that can be classified into different time in terms of past, present and future. Say for example, go will become went as a part of past tense, and will go will become as a part of future tense. And even in present, it can be a continuous tense which is going. So these are the kind of aspects that that will primarily be there as a part of the question. There could be questions on theme detection, where you're supposed to read a particular passage, identify what exactly the theme is, as well as passage comprehension. You are surely to know what passage comprehension is all about, where they're trying to understand your comprehension skills, where you read a passage and there are questions where it checks your understanding of the finer aspect of what the passage is all about. Now, to begin with, I cannot straight away give you questions and ask you to solve or help you to solve, because the idea is to make you understand how the grammar process works, how the word changes, certain do's and don'ts that you need to keep in mind. So I'm going to begin with grammar today. So what exactly grammar is? We usually say grammar is a rule, right? But grammar is actually not a rule, it's a system of language. It's the whole system and the structure of a language, or the languages in general, which means it's just not English. If you take any language into consideration, there is certainly a system, there is certainly a process, a framework which we follow. That is exactly what grammar is. Are there rules in grammar? Like I said, no. In fact, no language has rules. So basically, it's not a rule, it's a system, it's a framework which you got to follow. Now, what are the common issues that we face in terms of grammar, because of which we fail to construct an accurate sentence? And that issue is mother tongue influence. It's a general misconception or a wrong assumption is people mispronounce words because of mother tongue influence, but that's not the fact. We mispronounce words because of regional influence, because in each region the pronunciation and the sound pattern is different. Take Telugu for that example. The way certain words are spoken in terms of vocabulary as well as the sound, the pronunciation in Telangana region is different from Andhra region, and within Andhra it's different for different regions within that particular state. If you take Hindi as an example, it's spoken differently in different parts of the world, which means, and not just the world, in fact in India as well. So which means if you take a particular language, the pronunciation pattern, the sound construction changes from region to region. That is mainly because of the regional influence of the vernacular languages. But when we talk about grammar, the problem is with the word order. The way we write a sentence in English is different from the way we speak the same in a vernacular language. So what happens is, you are thinking in your vernacular language, you are doing a transliteration or a literal translation into English, and when you write it, there is a change in the word order. All right. So let me give you an example. Now, when we talk about mother tongue influence in English, especially in Andhra or Telangana region, there is one common mistake that all of us do. I will just quickly type it so that it's easier for you to understand what I'm trying to say. Let me rearrange this so that you have more area where I can write. So I'm writing a very short sentence here. Okay, and it's a question. It is, can you do it? But most of the people they actually say, can you able to do it? Okay. Now this is incorrect. The second part is incorrect. Okay. For example, I can come at 8 p.m. or I can't come at 8 p.m. But people make a mistake. They say, I can't able to come at 8 p.m. Now if you look at this can't and able, both are words with a similar meaning, which means I have to drop this. It's a redundancy. So I don't really need this. Okay. Another mistake that people do is can you repeat the question again? Now repeat itself means it's going to happen again. Correct? So we don't really need this again. Another example, so let me just mark it for those who are watching it late. So this word is a redundancy, so we don't really need that. Correct? Please reply back to the email. Now when you say reply, it's anyways coming back. So the word back is not needed here. So it can be please reply to the email, can you repeat the question? So again is not needed, here back is not needed. So these are some examples how we make a mistake in terms of grammar construction. Alright. Now mother tongue influence, how do you get rid of it? So basically what it does is it changes the word order. There is a loss of sentence integrity, misinterpretation and miscommunication. So to understand how to make it right, you need to understand the parts of speech. So these are the parts of speech that we have. So we have noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, interjection, conjunction. These are the commonly used and the most important parts of speech that you need to understand the language. Now noun is what? Name, place, animal, thing. Ravi is going to London. Now Ravi is the name of a person, London is the name of a city. So both are noun. Pronoun is a substitute for noun. Instead of saying Ravi will be back in December, I can just say he will be back in December. So he is a pronoun. Adjective. Ravi is passionate leader. Now adjective is something that qualifies the noun. It adds a quality to the noun. Alright. That's why Ravi is a passionate leader. The word passionate is adjective. Verb means action. He is driving his new BMW car. So verb is action. Now when we talk about an action, the action should always be in terms of time. The action may have happened in the past, it's happening now, or it's going to happen now, or it will happen in the future. So wherever there is a verb, there is also a tense. Adverb. He is driving his car fast. So like adjective is qualifying the noun, adverb adds quality to the verb. For example, what kind of a person Ravi is? Passionate. How is he driving the car? Fast. So basically the quality of the action is adverb, the quality of the noun is adjective. Preposition. Ravi will leave for London at 8 p.m. Preposition, just look at the word position. Anything that determines the position in terms of time, in terms of space, is a preposition. Let me give you some example for those who do not understand exactly what I mean. Okay. I will come after 9 p.m. So in this case, your preposition is after. Okay. Now the same word can be used he is running after the bus to board. Here also the word after is there, but here the after is in terms of a particular object, in terms of a space. Alright. Here it's in terms of noun. Now the confusion that happens with everybody is what kind of preposition to be used where, especially in terms of day and time. Say for example, he will come in 2020. That's the year. So if I'm using a year, I will use the preposition in. Even if I use a month, he will come in April. Even if it's a month, I will still use in. If I use a day, he will come on Sunday. The moment I am replacing the year or a month to a particular day, then it becomes on. He will come on Sunday. He will come at 5 p.m. So here, since I am using a particular time, I will use at instead of on. He will come by train. So here I'll use by. So as and when this aspect changes as to when it's happening, you need to ensure that the preposition also changes. Clear? All right, let's move on. Interjection, wow, he will fly business class. So anything that is an expression, an exclamation, it's always followed by an explanation mark. So please remember, interjection, wherever you have interjection, there is always an exclamation mark. Wow, he will fly business class. Conjunction. Conjunction means anything that joins two sentences. Ravi and his director will go to UK. Now, how do you ensure that you're not making a mistake? Say, for example, here, if I remove this particular aspect, his director will go to London. This is still a perfectly constructed sentence. Even if I add a noun, it still is a perfectly constructed sentence, which means I am joining two sentences here, and that's a conjunction. All right. Now, what are the types of noun? We all know noun, but we also need to understand the types of noun. Here is the list. Please make a note of it, and please write it down with the examples. So let's take one by one. The first one, common. Common noun means the mountain is too tough to climb. Anything that is common but it's a noun, that's a common noun. It's fairly self-explanatory. Proper noun means any name is a proper noun. Now the names are pronounced differently in different part of the world. You got to be very careful about that. Okay. So any name, for example, a country's name is pronounced differently in different part of the world. Even person's name is pronounced and also sometimes written differently in different parts of the world. Let me give you an example. If I have this word, or there is a name which is April. I know it's a month, but April is also a name. But when we talk about this name in French, the name is pronounced and written as Avril. Okay. Say for example, hello, in Spanish it's written as H-O-L-A but pronounced as hola, like Ola cab. Hola basically means hello in Spanish. That is what hola is all about. So it's not pronounced as hola, it's hola. Okay. So a name, a word is pronounced and written differently in different cultures, different languages. Abstract. Abstract is something that you cannot touch, you can't feel. So abstract, for example, fear is an obstacle. It's not physical basically, it's a state of mind, so that is an abstract noun. Count noun, the bottle is filled with water. Now there is something called a count noun and non-count noun. Count noun is something where you can put a unit, for example kilometers, meters, liters, numbers, any kind of measurement system that you can put is a count noun. But there are a lot of nouns where you cannot measure it. For example, water. Now how do you measure water? In order to measure a non-count noun, you need to take the help of a noun. Alright, let me give you the example. I need a cup of tea, or they need 5 cups of tea. I will not say teas, that's not correct. They need 5 cups of tea, which means my tea, the word tea is a non-count noun. I can't count it. But I can use this 5 cups, one singular, more than one plural. I use 5 cups to measure the tea. Okay. For example, distance. Distance you cannot count, but you can add a number. The distance is 5 kilometers. The home is 5 kilometers away. All right. Collective, the team wants to celebrate. Now there is something called a collective noun as well. For example, the team wants to celebrate. Now here you need to pay attention to one aspect very, very carefully. If I have this word team, that means more than one member. Okay. For example, if I have group, this is also more than one member. Correct? However, this particular word that you have here is considered as a singular noun, which means I will say the team is tired, which means the word team is, even though it has more than one member, only then it's a team, I will still consider this as singular. I cannot say the team are tired. The same applies for the group as well. So keep that in mind. All right. Collective noun, for example, another aspect of collective noun is, let me change the color. For example, a flock of birds, a herd of cows, a school of fish. When fish are in a group, they are called a school of fish. So please never say fishes. There is no such word called fishes. All right. So we have singular, plural. So when we talk about singular, plural, we also need to think about the collective noun. Singular, one person. More than one is of course plural. And wherever you have a plural form, the word also changes. You got to keep that in mind. Possessive, I am using Rahul's bike. Whenever you have a possessive noun, there is always be an apostrophe here. After the noun, there will be apostrophe s. Compound noun, for example, ceiling fan. What do we mean by a compound noun? These two words separately, ceiling is a different word, fan is a different word. But when we combine these two words, we get a third meaning, which is compound. For example, bus or stop is a different word, but I can put it together and say bus stop. So that's what compound noun is all about. So let's quickly look at some more examples. Now here what you need to do is you need to identify the noun from these words. For example, this is the first one. The second one you need to figure out. I missed the bus because I was late. So the noun is bus. Next, The queue was very long, so I didn't wait. So you need to identify the noun here. And that is queue. The queue was very long, so I didn't wait. 3. The distance was too long to cover. That is distance. Very simple. Now singular and correct singular and plural nouns. For example, I went to the market and bought a lot of fruits or fruit. It is fruits because it's plural form. The traffic or traffics in this city is unbearable. Of course, it's traffic. There is no plural form as traffics. I have to cut my hair or hairs today. It is hair. All right. Now, singular and plural form, some more examples. There are so many different type of peoples in the world. Please understand, it says there's so many different type of people and peoples. It is people because people is already a plural form, so please do not add an s. For example, a lot of people make this mistake. A child, the plural form is children, so please don't say children's. All right. I have to buy a lot of furniture or furnitures for my new apartment. I have to buy a lot of furnitures for my new apartment. Please remember, there is no plural form here. Furniture means plural itself. Even if it's one table or one table with 4 chairs, it's still a furniture, so don't call it furnitures. I need help to carry all the luggage or luggages. Again, 1 suitcase or 5 suitcases, they are all luggage, it's not luggages. After the party, there was a lot of garbage or garbages. It is garbage, it's not garbages. All right. Now, before I go to the pronoun aspect, one quick information. For example, information does not have a plural form. Data does not have a plural form. The animal, sheep, does not have a plural form. So you can't say sheeps, datas, and informations. That is wrong. All right. So likewise, there are a lot of such words which you need to keep in mind. Now, what is a pronoun? Pronoun is used in place of noun or noun phrase to avoid repetition. For example, I, you, we, they, he, she, it, me, us, them, him, her, this, those. Now, when you talk about pronoun, you also need to keep in mind the singular or the plural form. For example, if I have a name here, which is John, so John will become he. Okay. If I have a female name, Shirley, it will become she. So since John is singular, Shirley is singular, it will become he and she. For example, if I have John and Jack, Shirley and Mary, this will become they. Now, when we have they, we do not have the genders anymore. So, it's not masculine, feminine anymore. So, these are just neutral gender, just they. So, you need to keep in mind the singular and the plural form. Say, for example, this is singular, these is plural. So, you have to keep in mind the pronunciation as well. This and these. These are my pens. This is my pen. So, when I say this is, since it's this, I will use is. If I have these, that means it's plural. Now, can I say these are my pen? No, these are my pens. Clear? So, when the singular plural form changes, the pronoun also has to be in sync. Mohan is tired, he wants to sleep, but I want him to finish the assignment. So, wherever I have Mohan referred as he as a substitute, that's a pronoun. Alright. Now, you need to pick the correct pronoun. The first one, I am giving you the answer. Second onwards, you need to figure out what's the correct answer. Hari's mom asked Dash to clean the garage. It can't be Hari's mom asked he. No. Hari's mom asked him to clean the garage. A student at an all boys high school should be on dash behavior, dash best behavior. I'm sorry. A student at an all boys high school should be on dash best behavior. So, it's talking about a student, which is a singular form. So, if it's a singular form, I will use his, not their. Now, please remember THEIR and THERE, both are pronounced the same, there. But THEIR is basically a pronoun, THERE is a preposition. For example, keep the book there. Where? There. So, here the correct answer, of course, is his. Neither Mary nor Dash knew why the store was closed. So, neither Mary nor I knew why the store was closed. You cannot say neither Mary nor me knew, because if you remove this part of the sentence, you can't say me knew why the store was closed. No, I knew why the store was closed. So, that's the correct form. After the training, you and Dash must discuss a few things. After the training, you and Dash must discuss a few things. Here, the correct answer is I. It's not me. It's not you and me. It's you and I. This is one common mistake a lot of people do. Say, for example, if I use certain names, Sharath, Mohan and me went for shopping. Lot of people use this form, or they say me, Sharath and Mohan went for shopping. I hope this is visible. Yes, of course. Okay. Now, both these forms are incorrect. Both these forms are wrong, incorrect. When you have more than one person apart from you as a first person, you should always be mentioned in the end. In this case, for example, in this one, you as a first person is mentioned first, which is wrong. Here you are mentioned as the last person. The position is correct, but the form is incorrect. Why is it so? If I remove this, me went for shopping, or do you say I went for shopping? You actually say I went for shopping. Hence, Mohan, Sharath and I went for shopping is the correct form. So, please remember, when you are talking about more than one person, and if you are mentioning yourself as first person, your mention will always be in the end and it should be as I. It's not me. Keep that in mind. Okay. Now let's look at this example or the question again. After the training, you and I must discuss a few things. So I is the correct answer. Now what do we mean by adjective? Like I said, it defines the noun. An adjective describes, modifies, or gives more information about a noun or pronoun. Examples of adjective: big, happy, green, young, fun, crazy, three. All these are some of the examples, but there could be many, many more. Example: the little girl had a pink hat. The little girl, what girl? Little girl had a pink hat. What kind of hat? Pink hat. So hat is a noun, girl is a noun. You have an adjective defining the noun. So little and pink is an adjective. Let's look at one example, but so I want to take the example first and then I will go over to this, the explanation part. For example, here I have some questions. Just a moment. All right, let's look at number 7. They dash put in all the hard work for the success of the team. So they have or they has. It should be they have because they is pronoun but in plural form. So I need to have this in plural form as well. Okay. So before that, let me have a quick look at the types of adjective. Something that defines the quality of the adjective, the quality of the noun. For example, dangerous chemicals, green vegetable, a square box, anything that is defining in terms of quality. It can also define in terms of quantity. For example, he has had in 3 apples. I don't have much money. This long thin centipede has many legs. It can be demonstrative as well. This red balloon is mine and those 3 yellow ones are yours. This cute baby is his brother, that cute baby is his sister. So demonstrative, it can be preposition as well as in certain contexts it can be adjective. All right. Now in terms of singular plural form, you got to be very careful. For example, possessive form, singular is my, plural is our. Singular your, plural will remain the your. His, her, its will become their as a plural form. Now here are some random questions which I have put together. Now these questions pertains to all kind of parts of speech. Some of them I did not explain because they are fairly simple. Let's look at these questions. These are the kind of questions you may get in your Genpact assessment as well. I dash a new bike yesterday. I bought a new bike yesterday. I have bought a new bike yesterday. Which one is the correct answer you think? Please figure out the answer. The correct answer is I bought a new bike yesterday. Number 2, if you don't hurry up now, you dash late for school. If you don't hurry up now, you dash late for school. You have been, you are, you will be. I can't use you have been means it's not a continuous thing of the past. You are, I'm not talking about the present tense. If you look at the question, if you don't hurry up now, you're late for the school. That means the getting ready aspect is going on right now. So you will be late for school. I would spend my holidays in London if I dash enough money. When I say I would, that means it's a wishful thinking. If I had enough money, I would spend my holiday. So had is the correct answer. They dash water sports. They are not water sports. They like not water sports. They do not like water sports. Now this question is more in terms of subject-verb agreement. I will talk about these 3 questions, then I will explain what a subject-verb agreement is all about. So the correct answer is they do not like water sports. Number 5, I will be going for shopping tomorrow. I will go for shopping tomorrow. I went for shopping tomorrow. Now, went is past tense, tomorrow is future tense. So, the correct form is will go. Don't say I will be going. I will go for shopping tomorrow. Ram and his team dash recently won a tournament. Will you use has or have? Ram and his team has recently won a tournament. Why should you use has? Why you should not be using have? For that, I need to explain what a subject-verb agreement is all about. Okay. Now, subject-verb agreement means the subject of a sentence should be in sync with the verb. Rather, the verb should always complement the subject of the verb. Okay. The entire sentence will have a subject, it will have a verb. So, verb cannot be against what the subject is. Okay. Let me show you a quick example to make you understand what do I mean by this. He is going, they are going. So, is and are, I am using different words here because the subject is changing from singular to plural. Okay. Now, how do you remember what you are supposed to use? If the subject is singular, use s at the end of the verb. If the subject is plural, drop the s at the end of the verb. So, this is the best way I can explain. I will quickly demonstrate what do I mean by this. Okay. Let me put this in italics so that you understand. So, if the subject is singular, use s at the end of the verb. If the subject is plural, drop the s at the end of the verb. Okay. Now, here he is going. So, he is singular. I will use a verb which has s, which is is. If the subject is plural, I won't use a verb with s. So, I use are. Okay. For example, he dances whenever he hears good music. All right, let me reduce this. I hope this is still visible. Yes, he dances whenever he hears good music. This is an example. Now, if I change the he to plural form, they dance whenever they dance whenever they hear good music. So, when I used he, I used s. Dances is verb, hears is verb. So, I use the s. In this case as well, I have the same verb, but I am dropping the s. Okay. So, if I have a situation like this, Ram and his team. Now, in this case, Ram is a part of the team. How many teams we are talking about? Only one. If I have one, that is singular. If I have singular, I will use the s at the end of the verb, which means Ram and his team has recently won a tournament. Okay. So when you get these questions in your Genpact examination or any other company's examination, they are basically trying to assess your understanding of the language, because once you join these organizations, you will have to speak a lot to people, your clients, your customers, your peers, your subordinates, your colleagues. You will have to be regularly communicating on email or chat. So it's very important that the structural integrity of the sentence that you form while writing or speaking is accurate, so that it doesn't lead to any misinterpretation or misunderstanding. So tomorrow's session, I will give you more examples in terms of exact pattern, what you can expect. Meanwhile, you can look up a lot of verbal ability questions in terms of sentence correction, in terms of fill in the blanks with the right form of words. Please practice as much as possible. My intent will be to give you the foundational knowledge so that you understand why you are doing what you're doing. Because if you just follow the exam pattern, you will not understand the basics. You will basically follow mugging it up. You will by heart the questions and write the answers. But when the situation changes, you will not be able to figure it out. So please do follow. Like we say, grammar you can either learn by usage or by rules. We are adults. We of course we want to understand in terms of the usage. So I hope this was helpful. Please post your questions on the YouTube page if you have any, so that I can look it up tomorrow and provide you with the answer. So I'll see you tomorrow, and please do practice, because that's very important, because these sessions are going to go on for 1 or 2 hours, but remaining time you need to practice as much as possible. Have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.